The new era of Formula One, the British impact in 2024 and expectations for 2025. The 2024 Formula One season exceeded all expectations, becoming one of the most competitive and exciting in recent years. The absolute dominance of a single team was replaced by fierce battles between various teams, providing a spectacle worthy of motorsport tradition. Now, with the 2025 season about to begin, the world's eyes will be on Australia, where the new phase of the category will start. One of the most impactful events already shaping the next championship is Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. After 12 years representing Mercedes, the seven-time British champion is preparing for a new challenge in pursuit of an unprecedented eighth world title. The decision surprised everyone, but analyzing recent seasons, it becomes clear that the move could be strategic for both Hamilton and Ferrari. 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve believes Hamilton has a good chance of achieving this historic feat in an interview with Action Network. The Canadian pointed to Hamilton's strong finish in the 2024 season as an indication that he is arriving in 2025 in great form. Additionally, he highlighted that Ferrari has been heavily investing in the Britain's image, which could benefit Hamilton as well as further motivate Charles Leclerc, creating an intense internal rivalry. Either this works and is great, or it motivates Leclerc even more. So, basically, it's a win-win situation for Ferrari at the moment, Villeneuve stated. McLaren's growth and Lando Norris's role. If Ferrari appears as a strong title contender in 2025, McLaren also enters a competition with renewed status. The British team demonstrated an impressive performance in the final stretch of 2024, with Lando Norris being the main challenger to Max Verstappen. The expectation is that the Woking-based team will continue evolving and become a true title contender. However, one factor could be an obstacle to McLaren's success: the internal rivalry between Norris and Oscar Piastri. Throughout last season, the two young talents engaged in fierce battles, some of which exceeded the limit of healthy competitiveness. Villeneuve sees this situation as a potential hurdle for the 2025 title. McLaren has not managed this well in the past, which will cause them to take points off each other, the former driver pointed out. Lando should naturally be the one fighting for the championship, but because of the internal rivalry and McLaren's inability to handle it positively, it could end up benefiting Ferrari and Lewis. The British legacy in motorsport. Regardless of the challenges McLaren may face, it is undeniable that British motorsport is experiencing a special moment. In addition to McLaren itself, which is strengthening each season, the country remains a powerhouse in terms of talent on the grid. Lewis Hamilton continues to be the sport's biggest reference, but Lando Norris and George Russell represent the new generation of British drivers who have everything it takes to continue the United Kingdom's winning tradition in Formula One. For 2025, British fans' hopes lie in a generational duel. Hamilton will seek to cement his status as the greatest in the sport's history, while Norris will try to prove he is ready to take center stage in Formula One. Meanwhile, McLaren will have the mission of returning to the top of the category, challenging Red Bull and Ferrari. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain: Formula One remained the stage for the greatest stories in motorsport, and the British, as always, play a central role in this narrative. The V10 debate, a return to Formula One's golden era? Christian Horner has expressed his enthusiasm for the return of V10 engines to Formula One. Earlier this month, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem suggested that F1 should consider returning to conventional engines powered by sustainable fuels. Starting next year, F1 cars will run entirely on synthetic fuel as part of a regulation change that introduces a new power unit. These cars will feature a 50-50 split between a V6 internal combustion engine and an electric MG UK motor. However, Horner, whose Red Bull team will enter this new era with Red Bull powertrains in partnership with Ford, will prefer a future return to V10s. From a sporting perspective, looking at what the future of Formula One engine should be after the next generation, particularly with the way sustainable fuel is being used, it opens up all kinds of opportunities, Horner said. Inadvertently, we have ended up with a very, very expensive and highly complex engine from 2026. The purist in me would love to go back to a responsibly developed V10, powered by sustainable fuel. If that were reintroduced, the sound of GP racing, it's an interesting concept that should certainly be explored after the current regulations. The earliest Formula One could return to V10S would be in 2030, and there is growing support for a naturally aspirated engine. Last week, Ben Sulayem posted on social media, "The F1 launch in London this week sparked a lot of positive discussions about the future of the sport. While we look forward to the introduction of the 2026 regulations on chassis and power units, we must also lead the future technological trends in motorsport. We must consider a range of directions, including the thunderous sound of the V10 running on sustainable fuel. Whatever direction is chosen, we must support teams and manufacturers to ensure cost control in research and development expenses." The case against electric power in Formula One. Formula One has always been about the fusion of cutting-edge technology and raw, visceral racing. However, the introduction of electric elements into the power unit regulations has made engines unnecessarily complex and costly. The charm of Formula One lies in its high-revving, naturally aspirated engines that provide an unparalleled sensory experience for fans and drivers alike. The move toward hybrid and electric technology, while well-intentioned, has diluted the essence of the sport. Sustainable fuel presents a viable alternative that allows Formula One to maintain its performance levels while reducing environmental impact. A return to V10 engines would preserve the thrilling sound and power delivery that fans love while embracing modern fuel technologies. Instead of pushing toward an electric future that does not align with the sport's DNA, Formula One should focus on refining internal combustion technology with sustainability in mind. The sport's history is defined by roaring engines, fierce competition, and engineering excellence, not by silent, efficiency-driven machines. If Formula One truly wants to maintain its legacy while addressing environmental concerns, the logical path is clear. Bring back the V10S, powered by sustainable fuels, and keep the spirit of racing alive. Formula One in 2025, a year of high expectations and major changes. As the 2025 Formula One season approaches, the motorsport world finds itself on the edge of a thrilling new chapter. With Lewis Hamilton's high-profile move to Ferrari, the growing competitiveness of McLaren, and ongoing debates about the sport's technological direction, the upcoming season is set to redefine modern F1. These developments bring both excitement and uncertainty, but one thing is clear: British motorsport remains at the heart of the championship's most compelling narratives. The Hamilton-Ferrari era begins. Few moves in the history of Formula One have created as much buzz as Lewis Hamilton's decision to leave Mercedes after 12 years and 6 world titles to join Ferrari. The British driver, widely regarded as one of the greatest in the sport's history, is now on a mission to claim an unprecedented 8th world championship. His move to Ferrari signals a significant shift in the competitive landscape, as the Scuderia has been aggressively developing its car to challenge Red Bull's supremacy. 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve has added to the anticipation, suggesting that Hamilton has a strong chance of achieving this historic feat. Speaking to Action Network, Villeneuve highlighted Hamilton's strong finish to the 2024 season as an indicator of his readiness for this new challenge. Moreover, Ferrari's heavy investment in promoting Hamilton's image could either enhance his chances or intensify Charles Leclerc's motivation, leading to a fascinating intra-team rivalry. With Ferrari doubling down on its efforts, the Hamilton-Leclerc dynamic could define the 2025 title race. While some believe that Ferrari's long-standing operational inconsistencies might hinder Hamilton's ambitions, the British driver's experience and racecraft could provide the missing ingredient the team has lacked in its recent championship bids. McLaren's rise in the battle for supremacy. While Ferrari and Red Bull remain the expected frontrunners, McLaren's rapid resurgence makes them a genuine threat in 2025. The British team finished the 2024 season with momentum, as Lando Norris emerged as Max Verstappen's closest challenger. With continued development and a more refined strategy, McLaren has positioned itself as a serious title contender. However, one major challenge could be internal friction. Norris and his teammate, Oscar Piastri, have had their share of tense moments on track, and their rivalry has at times hindered the team's ability to maximize points. Villeneuve pointed out that McLaren has struggled to manage intra-team competition effectively in the past, which could be a disadvantage in a tightly contested championship. For Norris, 2025 represents a defining year. The young British driver has demonstrated immense talent, but he has yet to take the final step towards becoming a world champion. If he can maintain consistency and assert himself within the team, he could very well become Britain's next title contender. However, internal conflicts and strategic missteps could allow Ferrari and Hamilton to capitalize. The return of the V10 debate, a shift away from electric power. Another major discussion shaping the future of Formula One revolves around engine technology. Christian Horner recently voiced his support for the return of V10 engines, a sentiment that had been echoed by FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. While F1 is set to introduce fully synthetic fuels in 2026, the sport will still rely on a hybrid power unit featuring a 50-50 split between a V6 combustion engine and an electric MGUK system. Horner, whose Red Bull team will begin its new engine partnership with Ford, has expressed concerns over the complexity and cost of the upcoming 2026 regulations. According to him, the sport has unintentionally developed an excessively expensive power unit, making the idea of a sustainably powered V10 a more appealing alternative. Ben Sulayem also acknowledged a growing interest in a return to high-revving, naturally aspirated engines, stating that the FIA should consider various technological directions for the future of F1. While such a change would not occur until at least 2030, the debate over whether F1 should prioritize electrification or return to its traditional roots continues to gain traction. A critical moment for Formula One's future. Formula One is currently at a crossroads. On one side, there is a push toward electrification, driven by global sustainability trends and regulatory pressures. On the other, there is a strong argument for maintaining the sport's core identity, emphasizing the visceral experience that only high-revving combustion engines can provide. For many fans and purists, the hybrid era has diluted the spectacle of Formula One. The complexity of modern power units has led to astronomical costs, reliability concerns, and a sound profile that lacks the raw emotion of the V10 era. Sustainable fuel presents a viable alternative, allowing the sport to maintain its environmental commitments without sacrificing performance or fan engagement. If F1 truly wants to preserve its legacy while embracing sustainability, it must carefully consider its next steps. The return of V10 engines, powered by cutting-edge sustainable fuels, could provide the perfect balance between innovation and tradition. It would allow F1 to retain its status as a pinnacle of motorsport without compromising the excitement that has defined it for decades. From pre-season testing outcomes to regulatory changes and team dynamics. With Hamilton in red, here's an extensive overview of the latest happenings. The ongoing battle over pre-season testing phase in Bahrain concluded the 2025 season, offering teams to be one of the most compelling to assess their cars ahead of the upcoming season. The grid is more competitive than ever, and British drivers marred by uncharacteristically cold and rainy conditions, which hindered optimal data collection. Make history with Ferrari? Despite these challenges, can McLaren finally reclaim its place at the top? Will Formula One embrace a return to roaring V10s, with Lando Norris hybrid era Titan performances during as the season opener in Australia approaches? Carlos Sainz top the timesheets. The world of motorsport is in for an electrifying ride. Converse, age difference, a decisive factor in Ferrari's 2025 lineup. The age gap between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc has become one of the most discussed topics surrounding Ferrari's 2025 driver lineup. While Hamilton is approaching the twilight of his Formula One career, Leclerc is still on the rise, yet to reach his peak. Former team boss Gunther Steiner has weighed in on the debate, dismissing the notion that youth gives Leclerc a significant advantage over his new teammate. At 40 years old, Hamilton is 13 years older than Leclerc, who will turn 27 during the season. Speaking to Australian program The Project, Steiner made it clear that he does not see Hamilton's age as a disadvantage. When asked whether he was surprised by Hamilton's switch to Ferrari, he responded, "No, not really." The interviewer then pointed out Hamilton's age, prompting a humorous reaction from Steiner. "What's wrong with being 40? I turn 60 next year." He went on to emphasize that Hamilton is still in top physical condition, even if his years in the sport are numbered. Obviously, he can't do another 10 years, but is still good. Does Hamilton's experience give him the edge over Leclerc? Steiner firmly believes that experience outweighs youth in Formula One. As we all know, when you get older, you gain more experience and become better. So in races, maybe he's even better than he was at 30, he explained. However, he did acknowledge that younger drivers tend to have an advantage in qualifying sessions, where pure speed and reaction time are crucial. Maybe in qualifying, over one lap, a younger driver is slightly better. Despite this, Hamilton's 18 years of F1 experience could prove invaluable in his battle against Leclerc. But then you make up for it in the race because you've already been through so many situations, Steiner concluded. Is age really just a number in F1? Steiner's perspective is valid, but the debate over whether age is an advantage or a hindrance in Formula One is far from settled. While experience undoubtedly brings racecraft, strategic awareness, and mental resilience, physical decline is inevitable. Reaction times, endurance, and adaptability to new car concepts can be affected by age, even for a driver as disciplined as Hamilton. That said, history suggests that veteran drivers can still dominate. Michael Schumacher remained competitive into his 40s. Fernando Alonso continues to perform at an elite level at 43. And Hamilton himself has shown no signs of significant decline. If anything, his ability to manage tires, read races, and make decisive overtakes has only improved with time. For Ferrari, this dynamic could work in their favor. Hamilton's experience could guide the team in high-pressure moments, while Leclerc's youthful aggression could bring fresh energy to their title challenge. The key factor will be how well Hamilton adapts to Ferrari's culture and whether he can assert himself as a team leader against a younger teammate hungry for his first championship. Ultimately, age alone does not determine success in F1. It is a combination of talent, adaptability, and mental toughness that defines champions. In this regard, Hamilton remains one of the best, and Leclerc will have to prove that youth alone is not enough to dethrone him. Positive effects of age on Hamilton's performance. 1. Unmatched experience in racecraft. With 18 seasons in F1, Hamilton has encountered every possible race scenario: adverse weather conditions, late race pressure, high-stakes battles, and strategic gambles. This experience gives him a unique ability to read a race better than younger rivals. He knows when to push, when to conserve tires, and how to manage different phases of a Grand Prix with precision. 2. Mental resilience and decision-making. Hamilton has faced multiple title fights, setbacks, and controversies throughout his career. Unlike younger drivers who might be more prone to emotional reactions, Hamilton has developed a composed mindset that allows him to stay calm under pressure. Ferrari has historically struggled with decision-making under intense conditions, so Hamilton's presence could bring much-needed stability. 3. Fitness and adaptability. Unlike past generations of F1 drivers, Hamilton has always placed a strong emphasis on fitness and recovery. He remains in peak physical condition, which helps counteract the natural effects of aging. His ability to adapt to different car characteristics and rule changes has also been one of his strongest traits, which will be crucial as he adjusts to Ferrari's driving dynamics. 4. Political influence and leadership. At Ferrari, a team known for internal power struggles, Hamilton's seniority and status as a 7-time world champion could allow him to take on a leadership role. Unlike younger drivers who might struggle to command the team's full backing, Hamilton's presence alone could shift Ferrari's focus toward optimizing the car around his driving style. Negative effects of age on Hamilton's performance. 1. Decline in reaction time and peak performance. Even the most elite athletes experience a natural decline in reflexes with age. In F1, where a fraction of a second in qualifying can make a difference, this could put Hamilton at a disadvantage against young competitors like Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris. While race pace is less dependent on pure reaction time, qualifying speed could be a challenge. 2. Increased physical recovery time. Formula One is one of the most physically demanding sports, requiring extreme neck, core, and cardiovascular endurance. While Hamilton is still in top condition, recovery from races and long-haul travel may take longer than it did when he was in his 20s. A 24-race calendar in 2025 will test his ability to maintain peak performance throughout the season. 3. Adaptation to new driving styles and car characteristics. While Hamilton has adapted well to regulation changes in the past, newer generations of F1 cars are designed with a different philosophy, including ground effect aerodynamics and a greater reliance on battery power. Younger drivers who have grown up in this hybrid era might find it easier to exploit these technical aspects compared to someone who spent most of their career driving V8 and early hybrid era cars. 4. Pressure to deliver immediately. Unlike when he joined Mercedes in 2013 with time to build a project, Hamilton's Ferrari move comes with immediate expectations. The Italian media and Tifosi demand results. And at 40, he doesn't have the luxury of waiting several seasons for a title-contending car. If early struggles emerge, critics will quickly point to his age as a reason for underperformance. Final verdict: will age be an advantage or a disadvantage? Hamilton's success at Ferrari will depend on whether his experience, mental resilience, and racecraft can outweigh any potential declines in qualifying pace and physical endurance. While drivers like Fernando Alonso have proven that age is not a barrier to competing at the highest level, Hamilton's biggest challenge will be adjusting to Ferrari's culture and working within a team that has historically struggled with internal stability. If Ferrari provides him with a car capable of winning, his knowledge and composure could give him an edge over younger competitors. However, if the Scuderia struggles with performance or strategy, age will become a more scrutinized factor, raising questions about whether Hamilton made the right move at this stage in his career. Ultimately, while age can bring challenges, Hamilton's legacy is built on defying expectations. If anyone can prove that 40 is just a number in Formula One, it's Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc's chances of becoming champion in 2025. With Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari in 2025, the big question is, can Leclerc still win the title? The Monegasque driver, widely regarded as one of the most talented of his generation, now faces a challenge of sharing a team with a 7-time world champion. But does this increase or decrease his chances of securing his first championship? Factors that could favor Leclerc. 1. Ferrari is improving every year. In recent seasons, Ferrari has shown steady progress. In 2023 and 2024, the team secured victories and demonstrated strong pace on several circuits. If Ferrari continues this upward trend and develops a fast and reliable car for 2025, Leclerc may finally have the necessary tools to fight for the championship consistently. 2. Familiarity with the team and stability. Unlike Hamilton, who will need to adapt to a new environment, Leclerc already knows Ferrari inside out. Having been with the team since 2019, he has built strong relationships with engineers and strategists. This could give him an early advantage, especially at the beginning of the season. 3. Exceptional qualifying pace. Leclerc is one of the fastest drivers in Formula One when it comes to single-lap performance. His ability to extract maximum performance from the car in qualifying can frequently put him on pole position, which is crucial for minimizing race risks and maximizing winning opportunities. 4. Extra motivation to beat Hamilton. Hamilton arrives at Ferrari as a living legend, but this could push Leclerc to raise his level even further. The Monegasque knows that defeating a driver of Hamilton's caliber within the same team would solidify his reputation and prove that he is capable of becoming a world champion. Challenges that could prevent Leclerc's title win. 1. Internal battle with Hamilton. Leclerc's biggest challenge might be Hamilton himself. With 7 world titles and 18 seasons of experience, Hamilton knows how to handle intra-team rivalries. If Ferrari has a championship contending car, there's a real possibility that the team may lean toward Hamilton, whether through strategy or internal influence. 2. McLaren and Red Bull might be too strong. Even if Ferrari improves, there's still the Max Verstappen and Red Bull factor. The reigning 3-time world champion remains a favorite, and if Red Bull continues its dominance, it will be difficult for Leclerc to overcome them. Additionally, McLaren has been making great strides, with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri emerging as serious title threats. 3. Consistency remains a weakness. Leclerc has shown impressive race pace, but he has also made crucial mistakes. Over the years, he has suffered from avoidable crashes and poor strategic decisions. To win a championship, he will need to be more consistent and minimize any unnecessary point losses. 4. Is Ferrari ready for a championship? Ferrari has a history of questionable strategic decisions and mistakes that have cost them victories in previous seasons. If the team does not improve its decision-making and pit stop efficiency, even a peak performance Leclerc could struggle to win a championship against teams like Red Bull and McLaren. Verdict: can Leclerc be champion? Leclerc's chances will primarily depend on the car Ferrari delivers in 2025. If the Italian team produces a car that matches Red Bull and McLaren in performance, he will certainly be a title contender. However, his biggest threat could come from within his own team, with Hamilton proving to be a formidable rival. If Leclerc maintains his qualifying speed, improves his consistency, and handles the pressure of having Hamilton as a teammate, he will have a strong chance of fighting for the title. But if Ferrari continues to make strategic mistakes or fails to develop a dominant car, his mission will be much more difficult. In an ideal scenario, Leclerc has around a 30 to 40% chance of becoming champion in 2025, but everything will depend on how Ferrari manages the internal battle and how strong Red Bull remains.